You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome back. Joining me now, Kristen Welker. She is the moderator of Meet the Press. We are always privileged to have her with us. Thank you for being here, Kristen.
Thanks, Roby. Good to be with you.
Let's begin with the week that was for former President Donald Trump. He secures the GOP delegate count that he needs to win the nomination. He had 3 or 4 legal developments that kind of went his way from all of his indictments. He's installed his daughter-in-law and some faithful supporters over at the RNC. Was it a good week for Donald Trump?
Well, let me just focus for one on the legal battles, because yes, he secured the nomination as we expected, but boy, Roby, you have to really focus on the fact that his legal team's entire strategy has been delay with the 4 indictments that he is facing. And what did we see this week? 2 of the top cases have been delayed. The hush money trial that was supposed to go to court, go to trial a little bit later on this month, looks like that's now headed for a delay. No new court date set. And then, of course, the election interference case in Georgia. This is a significant one. The judge issuing a split ruling on allegations that the district attorney, Fani Willis, had an inappropriate relationship with her top prosecutor. The judge basically saying, look, either she can go or the top prosecutor has to go. So expectations are the top prosecutor's going to go. She can stay on the case. But from Trump's perspective, again, this allows him to delay this case. This allows him to sow the seeds of distrust in the legal system. That's a top part of his campaign strategy. So overall, I think this was a week that, politically speaking, may have benefited Trump. But of course, we have a long ways to go until November.
I tell people that all the time. There are still going to be a lot of detours and twists and turns in this road to the presidential election. Let's talk about President Joe Biden. His week, a little bit more muted. He's coming off of the euphoria of the State of the Union address, which was well received by Democratic partisans for sure. He swung through some key swing states that he is going to need to perform well in. He said he'd sign this TikTok ban that is working its way through Congress, whether or not it gets there or not. And then there was the Her report, or the Her testimony in Congress this week.
Testimony.
Is President Biden's strategy, in your estimation, to be kind of less is more? Let's be strategic where we step in. He's not making the big headlines every single day that we see Trump doing.
Well, it's a great point. And look, coming off of the State of the Union address, he has been out there campaigning in some key swing states. I think the question is, will we see that pace continue? And I can tell you, Democrats want it to continue. They feel like he's got to be blanketing the airwaves if he wants to get ahead of Trump, who, quite frankly, right now is leading in a number of key battleground states and leading within the margin of error nationally. I think for President Biden, one of the challenges of this week is that he also learned that he didn't get that post-State of the Union bounce that presidents usually enjoy after delivering that major address. So can he capitalize on what he accomplished last Thursday, which is you had Democrats feeling revived and energized and feeling like President Biden was ready for the fight, ready to take on former President Trump. I think they are going to want to see a lot more of that fight. As you talked about, Robert Hur, the special counsel who cleared President Biden of any legal wrongdoing in terms of his handling of classified documents, testified on Capitol Hill this week. That was sort of a split decision as well. He said that he was not going to exonerate President Biden, but you also, in reading the report, realized, and in reading President Biden's testimony, realized some of the very harsh language that Robert Hur used to describe some of his memory lapses, that there was a little bit more gray area that was indicated in the original report. So that was sort of a mixed bag, but I think you are right to ask, will we see President Biden really ramp up and amp up his activities as we get deeper into this campaign? I am told yes. We'll have to see how it all plays out.
She is Kristen Welker. She's the moderator of Meet the Press. Don't turn your channel. When Capitol View goes off the air here, she will pick up and be on for the next hour. Kristen, thank you so much for being with us.
Great to be with you.
We're back with more right after this.